bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie, and the show starts right now.
Hey,
Hey, good evening.
welcome everyone. Another night with Ed and Ronnie. Could be a good thing, could be a not so good thing.
It's going to be an
wonder-
amazing thing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's going to be an amazing night here at Red, White, and True. It's a good night. It's beautiful here in Columbus, Indiana today.
Yes, yes, yes.
70. What do we hit temperature wise?
We're at 71 right now. I don't know what we got up to.
I almost put the top on the Jeep down. I got a 70 degree rule on that, and it made it there. But this time of year, it's when you do it, it's like up and down and up and down. You know, it's not like you can pull it off and just leave it for several days. So I decided against it, even though I sent your mom a screenshot of the weather forecast, and like for the next 5 days, it's supposed to be in the 70s.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
All those people in the South saying, listen to those people live up north talking about how exciting it is to get 75 degrees.
Well, after the winter we've had, really, I mean,
we used to have way worse winters than what we do now. But and this winter, compared to way back when, really wasn't a horrible winter. But when you compare it to the last few years, it was a bad winter.
It was cold, snowy.
Well, it's good to see people coming into the comments there. Bill and Tanya and Cisco. I think Cisco might have been at my front door today. I was gone and my security camera went off, and I think Cisco was at my front door. And
did you call the cops?
Well, no. They probably already know about Cisco. So, well, it's kind of interesting. There is not one topic that really sticks out this week. It's not like, most weeks since Trump's been in office where there's been something that, the speech to the joint session of Congress and those kinds of things. So, but we got plenty to talk about.
I guess really the biggest thing that's been going on is this tariff war. I read one article, it says that Trump pushed it up and then Canadians pushed it up. And then the next article is the Canadians back down and Trump pushed it up even more. And I don't know what to believe.
Well, it's a confusing topic to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that we're used to talking about as in a normal conversation. I think I said this before. Usually when you're talking about tariffs, it's always seemed to be an extremely negative topic.
Yeah.
And when it has the ability to place the income tax, I'm not thinking that sounds so negative. I'm thinking I want to know more about it because I'm going to plead ignorance on this. I don't know how tariffs work in a manner. I mean, I understand the 25% or whatever. But, is that going to add to inflation and our prices are going to go way up if we get relief from income tax, but the prices on everything go way up instead? That's kind of just kicking the can. And so I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm just saying I've got to do my due diligence and study it better.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You got any thoughts and opinions?
This guy in Canada who's going up against Trump and threatening to surcharge electricity or to even shut it off, and he says Canada won't back down. Well, he's playing blackjack. He's playing poker with Trump right now, and we all know Trump's not going to back down. I mean, he'll let him shut off the electrical grid before Trump budges an inch. The whole thing about the tariffs, I don't see it as fair that other countries make us pay to import our goods. So it's only fair for them to pay too when they import them to us. So I don't know. Like you said, maybe I need to do a little bit more research on it because.
Well, see, that's the part that probably confuses me the most is why is it out of kilter with other countries charging us tariffs?
Yeah.
But then, Trump uses the term reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah.
And, if it's like other things, I'm really, really tired of things that are okay for the side other than what I'm on to be able to do things, but then my side is held to a different standard.
Yeah,
and I know as Christians, we're held to a different and a higher standard from God. But when it comes to, economic situations, I think, the playing field ought to be on the even side of things.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't see why it's fair that they pay, we pay, and they don't, kind of thing.
Well,
Go ahead.
Whip up a video for us real quick.
All right. Well, I've got two that I'll play back to back. They're really short, but this past week, Democrats, specifically females in Democrat Congress, decided to put out a video to show how strong and great things are going to be. You'll like this.
Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway.
So to put that in context for people who might not know, if anybody's played old style video games, there was several video games back when I was younger, and it was Mortal Kombat, I believe. But that's the choose your character, and you hear that song, and then as you scroll through to pick which character you want to play, they would kind of pop down and stand there and act like they're getting ready to fight. It's Democrats trying to appeal. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious, but the funniest part was the Republican response, and I've got that right here. Street Fighter, that's what it is, Street Fighter. But I enjoyed the Republican response there. That was pretty good.
Well, it's always kind of been the female conservatives, and that wasn't female conservatives, but
no.
Follow along with me here. That showed a bunch of female liberals ready to fight, and I don't know. It's always pretty much been, I'd take the conservative side. I mean,
well, that the Republican response was them actually doing something and not just standing in place. And I mean, okay,
yeah,
that's what
they're going
to
fight the right way, huh?
Yeah,
right way.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was funny, and then I have a really, really short video that shows some more from the liberal team.
I am honored to serve as the first female four-star officer of the U.S. Public Health Service Commission's Corps. I don't know about you, but I choose the Republican team on that one.
Okay, back to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah. Instead of those winning characters right there.
Now, Ronnie and I don't usually show each other all the videos that we've come up with, and that's one that I hadn't seen. So it wasn't like he did that just to agree with what I had just said.
No.
Boy, it sure fit together.
Yeah.
I'm picking the conservatives.
Yes, for sure.
I'm thinking even if the message wasn't the greatest,
I don't care what it is. I mean, I'm going to go with the conservative video there. That was a lot better than the mustached, bald female wannabe, whatever that thing was there at the end of that last video.
Well, this is how we're kind of starting lighthearted. I got one. I'm thinking about making some segments, and we talked about this in the past. And I'm thinking that Senator Kennedy would be a great person to have a weekly segment of. I'm thinking the press secretary, and I saved something of hers, and I can't figure out where it's at right now. So I don't know if I'll have that one tonight. You've got one from I'm I won't steal the thunder on who you've got. One that will probably qualify as a weekly segment.
Yes,
But,
yes, I do.
Something of this nature each week, maybe longer than this one, but you'll see.
I think Elon Musk is a rock star. The tofu crowd is mad, but when you trim fat, pigs squeal. That's just the way the world works. That's the law of nature.
When you trim fat, pigs squeal.
Oh, Lordy. I love him.
We did talk about him before, and you mentioned that it sounds like he sits around and thinks those things up, and
practices it or
practices
something
in advance. Wonder how this one will work. You trim fat, pigs squeal.
That's great. That man, though, every time he speaks, he's got something that he says that's just so hilarious, and it fits so well.
Well, one of the hilarious parts about it is that they're always true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, he comes up with some one-liner that goes with it, but it's not like he's, just writing comedy skits. He's telling something funny based off of something that's real life.
Yeah. One video Mom sent me a couple weeks ago, he said something about if you don't like cops, next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead.
Right. I mean, well.
Yeah, I love that guy. I love him to death.
Well, we'll go with kind of dueling videos here.
You want to do the next segment?
Yeah, I've got one here. I'm a little partial to this because it includes Pete Hegseth. But I'm going to share my screen and get this YouTube up and ready.
Seth, you have written that after they retire, generals should be banned from working for the defense industry for 10 years. You and I agree on the corrosive effects of the revolving door between the Pentagon and defense contractors. It's something I would have liked to talk to you about if you'd come and been willing to visit with me. But the question I have for you on this is, will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about because it's
not
one
it right now.
It's not one. My motivation for this job.
I understand
has never
that. I
been
just
about
need
what
a
could
yes or no
conceivably
here.
come next.
Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be
In
at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. So
Good old Pocahontas.
Yeah. I'm not a general. And the funny thing is the background laughter is like, you could almost just read the thoughts of the people that were laughing.
Yes.
He just smoked her.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get a sound bite there for herself to use and ended up being the brunt of the sound bite for someone else to use.
She could be another one. We got a Pocahontas corner too.
We could probably assign a certain time in the hour or hour and a half, whatever we end up going, at 10 minutes after it's Pocahontas time.
At 7:15, boys and girls, it's time for Jasmine Crazy Looney Tune Crockett.
There you go. It's
I've got
on
her.
you.
I've got her video. So here is your tax dollars hard at work.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like bro. Mustard on a beat, bro, deep boat, any rap, he a freak though, man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe. Now them boys to the cross, they walk around like T's. What's up with these jabroni, trying to see Compton. In the street can hate me, bump them all in they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options.
So far, we've had the Democrats trying to be popular. We've got the other parts of the liberal team, the real winners in the Liberal Party. We've had the video you played, Pete Hegseth slaying Pocahontas, and now we've got Jasmine Crockett, and there was some Kamala Harris in there doing some really good work for the country.
You do realize that that's probably the most intelligent thing I've ever seen from Jasmine Crockett.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean,
because the reason she would qualify for her own segment on Red, White, and True is she just says I'm trying to watch that word, really, really, really off the cuff stuff.
Yes.
I will let you define what off the cuff means.
I actually had a video that I had come across and I saved it, and before I got to watch all of it, and it was about 10 times this guy was saying about the word stupid and how to use it and yada yada. It was probably about 35, 40 seconds long. And it was a hilarious video, and it fit exactly what you were saying to a T, trying not to say that. But at the end, they dropped the F-bomb. And since I can't mute thing, I don't have the beat button, I did not decide to play it. I've already made that mistake once. Wasn't going to do it again.
Well, and your mom didn't help you out on that either. You said about a video she sent you that would have been good deal. And but we try not to drop the the language barrier here too terribly much. And
we're a family show.
We do our best. And speaking of family, there's my good friend Danny Kennedy. We just saw him Sunday. He is part of the music group Fishers of Men that were at Old Union on Sunday. And most of the time we talk current events and politics, but it's never a bad time to say that Sunday, while Danny and the band were there, we had 2 ladies give their lives to the Lord. So
that's awesome.
Amen. That gave me cold chills just saying that. It is, the music's good. The chili and everything we had afterwards was good. But nothing beats that when somebody gives their life to the Lord. That's
just great. That's some good news that we all need in this day.
Yes, we do. And because not everything I've got saved for us is good news. We'll talk about some Christian issues in a bit, but let's look at some of the headlines that from the last few days. U.S. House passes bill to fund government through September, averting a shutdown. Now, we don't have all the information because I'm pretty sure that this passed just later in the day today. And I know that there were conservatives, very, very conservative sides of the Republican aisle that thinks these CRs, continuing resolutions, is just kicking the can down the street. Basically what it does is it leaves things on a as is pretty much. I think you can correct me if I'm not explaining it right. Leaves things as is, except for specifics that must be written in the bill. People are saying, how are we ever going to cut the deficit if we don't start cutting the deficit?
Yeah.
Trump wanted this to go through so that he can get his initiatives going. He's talking about cutting the deficit. But what do you think? Are these continuing resolutions good? And a second question with that for you. Would it be the worst thing in the world to have a government shutdown?
You know, the term government shutdown really kind of scares the bejesus out of a lot of people. And I understand it's a big thing because people think, oh, they're going to shut down the government. You know, we're not going to get our tax return. The soldiers aren't going to get paid. You know, who's going to protect us? You know, if Canada marches across the border with their geese and I am in favor of doing whatever it takes necessary to not have that happen. But I can see where people think it's kicking the can down the road. It's got to be something that eventually is going to have to stop. Now, if the Democrats would get out of the way, let Doge do their thing, I don't think it would be as serious of an issue. The budget, to me, is I'm not good with money. If I see something and I want it, I buy it. Or if I'm sitting there thinking, man, it'd be nice to have one of those, I'd buy it. But people like the government should be able to handle money better than they are. And I've kind of put all my hopes and dreams into Doge and them shutting down crap that we don't need and getting rid of it and getting us some money back and stuff like that. But like I said, eventually these resolutions have got to stop because the more and more we do, it's just making it harder and harder on future generations. Yeah, you might not have to worry about it today, but your kids will, your grandkids will, your great grandkids will, and so forth. So
well, and we're right on together with that. You know, I've got a friend who does political commentary, and he practically begs for government shutdowns every time this happens. He says, if the government shut down, is there any bad decisions being made? And the thing is, I think this one is a little bit different. And you alluded to it in that Doge is in place right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, you know, this goes to September. So, you know, what, 6 months, I guess. That gives Doge a time to do at least a good portion of what it is that they plan to do. You know, Doge isn't designed to be here forever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a length of time that they're proposing for that. And Doge isn't something new. We've talked about that before. People think, oh man, Obama had the same basic outline.
Absolutely.
Just
they didn't do as well, but
well, their perspective was different.
Yeah.
You know, they were wanting Doge to help fund the things that they wanted. And, you know, and probably every time the White House changes parties, you know, Doge could probably come in and wreck the other side for a while. And, you know, but you hope at some point that, you know, the kids in Congress become adults. I mean, I'm not going to hold out hope. I mean, we'll do that on prayer and share and say massive prayers for that to take place.
Yes.
But, you know, wouldn't it just be good to hear that people in Congress were doing what was right for America for once?
Yeah. It's sad we have to have a government entity like Doge, but obviously it's very necessary. I mean, they found just the other day that the taxpayers were paying $7,000 to water 5 plants in the Pentagon, 5 potted plants. They're just decorative potted plants. And that was money that should never have been spent to have a private contractor come in and $7,000 on these plants. each individual specific plant, $7,000 for each one. But Doge wasn't designed to walk on water. It's going to take time, but I think that's probably the smartest thing I've seen any government do is how much they're going through and going line item by line item.
You would think that would be a good thing for both sides.
Yeah. But the left is freaking out about it. And I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you and I had a slush fund that the rest of the world didn't know about, and somebody came in and was putting that into jeopardy, we probably wouldn't think they were the best things in the world either.
Absolutely. I'd be terrified too. Then you got people like Pocahontas standing up and telling everybody that, Elon Musk is going to have access to your social security number. Richest man in the world has access to my social security number. Big deal.
Yeah.
Let him.
You're going to steal a lot from me.
Yeah. What he can steal from me, he doesn't even make. And I mean, he makes more than what I've got in 10 seconds. So,
right. I was going to say, by the time he got done stealing what I have, he would have already earned more money somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a short period of time.
Absolutely. Right. Oh, well.
Well, there is other news today, and I know that you've checked this out a little bit. In Saudi Arabia, the United States and Ukraine were negotiating, and they announced a 30-day ceasefire contingent upon, and you take it from there, Ronnie.
I don't know the contingency.
On Russia.
The ceasefire. Yeah. Oh, on Russia, yeah.
Yeah, you did. I didn't ask my question right because you'd already told me. I wouldn't set you up like that, not knowing you knew the answer.
Right now, Marco Rubio says we'll take this over to the offer over to the Russians, and we hope they say yes. Kiev, however you pronounce it, has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire contingent on Moscow's acceptance of the terms. Shows pictures of them. The article I've got sitting around the round table there in Saudi Arabia. The best goodwill gesture the Russians can provide is to say yes, obviously. Now, the ceasefire deal, how many ceasefires has Gaza and Israel had that has been broken? 3, 4, something like this at this point. So, yeah, there might be a 30-day ceasefire, and that's great. That's 30 days of no killing, but I don't put a whole lot of trust and hope and faith into ceasefires. So,
well, I learned something yesterday that the Hebrew word for ceasefire isn't exactly defined the same way you and I would define the word ceasefire.
Really?
It's basically in Hebrew, and I'm probably going to get this a little bit wrong or a lot wrong. It's more like a timeout, and a regrouping, to where we think of ceasefire as in stopping hostilities with the hopes that it's at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not saying that Israel doesn't want a ceasefire to work in the manner that we would think it being. The hope is that you don't have to retool for battle. You retool for what's going to be after the ceasefire, after the conflict is over. Again, on this one, I think the potential for a ceasefire in Ukraine and Russia has a better chance of succeeding because you've got two countries involved, not a country and a terrorist group.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on record once again of saying, for all the people that thinks that conflict is us versus them with the United States, you either got to be on Ukraine's side or Russia's side. I've said it before, said it last week. I'll say it again tonight. I don't like either one of them. I just don't.
Yep.
They've never been trustworthy. I did make a big deal about supporting Ukraine in the early days because, I mean, they got pounded. And, you know, a country the size of Russia pounding a country the size of Ukraine, Russia should have wiped them out in 6 months or less.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, do you think, let's see, what would you say is a comparable? Ukraine's bigger or not as big as Mexico.
No.
Some South American country.
Brazil or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Brazil. And size-wise, that might. Do you think if we got into a conflict with a South American country, that it should take us 3 years and basically we're at ground zero?
Yeah, no. And then I actually heard somewhere, and I don't know how much faith and hope I can put into this, but they were saying like Russia's sending in their reservists and they're elderly and they're not really putting their full weight to bear on Ukraine. And obviously not. Russia should have walked all over them, hour 2. It shouldn't take 3 years.
Well, of course, on the other hand, somebody from, well, maybe even from America, but somebody that doesn't like us so much would probably say the country of Vietnam.
Yeah. How did we not win Vietnam?
Or, how long were we there and we'd win some stuff and lose some stuff and back and forth. But I don't know. In today's, I don't know that you can compare what goes on today to what went on in the 70s.
Yeah.
And, with everything being, everything that happens within minutes, usually, you don't have to just take the news's word for it. You're going to see video of what happened. I just don't think in today's world that Russia should have been in the position that they are now. Yeah. And from Ukraine's point of view, thankfully, there were countries like the United States and Europe, countries from Europe that helped them out. But it's one of those where it seems like kicking the can is my phrase for the night. But I'm tired of them kicking that can. They just need to pick that one up and get it in the recycle bin.
Yeah, for sure. And the world usually forgets that there's a war going on in Ukraine and Russia. You just, oh yeah, that is going on, because it's not really. Like I said before, Russia could have swept through the entire country of Ukraine if they wanted to. I don't know why they're not. I don't know what the deal is. I was just reading earlier, and I read it to you about Russia actually used drones, and they hit Chernobyl, which is a pretty big thing. Fortunately, there was no major damage and no radiation leakage, but I don't know.
Well, our friends that are here with us tonight are very quiet.
Yes, absolutely.
Somebody say something to shake things up a little bit. Maybe we're boring. Maybe we put them to sleep already.
Yes.
I have experience at that.
Do we need to laugh real quick so we wake everybody up?
Yeah. I've
got a video. We talked about this gentlewoman last week, and she decided to make a video, and I'm not going to show it all because it's pretty long, but here we go.
I was really stunned that the election was fought over the cost of living, and families who live paycheck to paycheck, concerned about whether or not they were going to be able to pay their bills, be able to pay for their health care, in some cases even putting food on the table.
That's about as much as I can handle her. She looks like a blue-haired homeless person standing in a very nice office. I don't get it.
And identify her for people that wouldn't know who she is.
That's Rosa DeLorio, and she's in Congress from somewhere. I don't remember where.
Well, it kind of looks like Mars, but
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what person would put that outfit on and look at themselves in the mirror and go, "That's it. Let's go make a video that the world will see."
I mean, I understand being comfortable with who you are and, all of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, people were dogging Zelensky for not having a suit on in the White House or in the Oval Office.
She is weird. She's something, that's for sure.
Creeps me out. Look at these comments. She is weird. She makes me sick.
Yeah.
This is a good one. San Francisco. That's the question. And finally, she creeps me out. Oh my.
Let's see.
Well, I may have to set you up for some of these because people that have been around me the last few days know that my voice has not been the greatest, and I can tell already it's sounding worse than when we started. So I may set you up on a few of these.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Real quick, that Rosa DeLorio, she's representative from Connecticut. So.
Isn't that where Joe Biden is from?
Delaware. He was from Delaware.
Yeah, but
because Corn Pop lived there. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I was thinking he has connections in Connecticut, though. Does he go on vacation there? I know he claims
probably.
Was she a villain?
Villain of Scooby-Doo.
That's
I'd have got away with it too if it weren't for them menacing Republicans.
Jinkies. Oh my. Speaking of Jinkies, it was the Jenkins that shared that with us there.
Yes, it was. It was. Well, I've got another video here. Oh, sorry,
okay, go ahead.
Well,
no,
it's Donald Trump talking about daylight savings time. Now, everybody knows that Sunday was daylight savings, and I'm sitting right here and I'm looking straight through my dining room, straight through my kitchen to the kitchen window, and I can see the sun is still up. And here is what Donald Trump has to say about daylight savings.
When are you going to get rid of daylight savings?
Okay, are you ready? So this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue. And it's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
Well, it's a 50-50 issue and no real, I don't know. I don't care for it. I don't like it. I wish they'd get rid of it. There was an old Indian saying that just like white people, to take 2 inches off of the top of the blanket and sew it onto the bottom of the blanket and expect a longer blanket. Well, the whole thing about changing time, like you said, some people want daylight in the evening, some want it during the morning. As a person that drives to work real early in the morning, I would like more daylight in the morning. But
well, I read that gets blamed on the farmers a lot.
Yeah,
and I read that farmers actually hate that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they're used to getting up early anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why not get up and have sunshine instead of darkness? I read that it actually didn't start in America. It started in Germany or somewhere, and then it went to England and then America. it actually started in like World War One, and but then what really moved it to where it had to be a worldwide thing is when air traffic became a thing.
Oh, that makes sense.
But that doesn't mean it has to change. They just need a stable, something. Every place can't have its own different time zone.
Yeah.
I mean, it can have a time zone, but it can't have one time zone that's pushed ahead while the other one is back. It has to be the same.
Like Troy just said, leave it one way or the other. I mean,
yeah, Troy nailed it right on the head.
Yep, for sure.
Whatever is the smartest one, go there and leave it. And so, so I think our comment section could end up proving Trump was a genius when he said that. So, I'm with Troy.
Yeah.
Just decide and leave it.
Yeah, for sure.
If that happens and you were on the side that didn't like what the change was, then you'd be stuck forever.
Yep,
for
sure.
Or until the next time the topic came up for discussion.
Well, did you hear they censured Al Green in Congress?
I did.
For his behavior. I've got a clip of that if you'd like to watch that.
Yes.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House has come to order. The House has come to order. The House has come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
And they standing there singing "We Shall Overcome" like this is some sort of civil rights deal. Okay, let them do them, I guess.
Well, I did see liberals coming out with the Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert.
MGT.
And yeah, I guess I got that backwards, didn't I?
Is that how they're trying to censure her?
But I didn't approve it when she did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now.
Well, yeah, I mean, her doing that, and then one of the big things is they're upset about her wearing a hat, which you're not supposed to wear a hat. Yeah, okay, it said Trump was right, but was that really the place to wear it? You want to wear it in your car on your way home or when you're grocery shopping, fine, but probably not a joint session. But
what I'm saying is, if you've got two people that make a fool of themselves, wouldn't you want to put the bar a little bit higher than it's okay to make a fool of yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
The Republican in that situation, she has rubbed people on both sides of the aisle wrong. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of Republicans that weren't happy with her saying and doing those things, but I think this would be a great time for everybody to pay attention, because what they just need to do is do the right thing.
Exactly. We did not practice that, by the way. That was
We did not. That one just felt like the right thing to do, and we did it. We did it. An interesting thing has come up here in the last little bit. I like to promote Great American Family, and they've actually been in the news for an issue that's going on with YouTube television. Let me pull up a video here real quick, and then I'll read some things.
Into it. So late last week, the FCC chairman announced an investigation into YouTube TV after he received complaints from religious channels. It seems to be primarily Great American Family. I apologize. That's leading this argument that basically is saying that YouTube TV is refusing to carry them, no matter what kind of deal they make, no matter what concessions they offer. YouTube TV is not offering to or carry them. We'll have to keep a close eye on this, but YouTube TV has received a demand letter from the FCC to answer a bunch of questions.
So I have some contacts at Great American Family. Trevor had hooked me up with some folks there a little while back, and suggested that I email them and see if they had a comment. And it was late in the day, so they actually forwarded me a link to a story that told all about what was going on. And let me get that up, and we'll see what so the new FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, sent a letter, and I have a copy of that letter. It's easy to find. It's not like it was sent to me directly. And they Great American Family made the claim that YouTube deliberately marginalizes faith-based and family-friendly content. They being Great American Family is available on other platforms such as Comcast, Cox, Hulu, Fubo TV, Direct TV Stream, and those places, but they can't get on YouTube TV. So the letter addresses that and is given a deadline for YouTube to comment to see if there is something to the complaints or not. And that's kind of interesting, because we've said things like that for probably decades, and now maybe at least it's being addressed. How well it'll be addressed, I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
There you go. And so wanted to bring that up. And I'm going to throw it to you for just a second and go off the screen, so that I got to go check my connection. My laptop is plugged in right here, but it's telling me it's almost out of power, so it must not be plugged in.
Gotcha.
Over there where I can't see. So go ahead and take control.
All right. Well, I've got one clip left. It's 23 seconds long, and everybody remembers DJ stole the hearts and minds there at the joint session. The little child at 13 was dealing with brain cancer and all that, and they made him an honorary Secret Service agent. I thought that was amazing. I've got a sweet little video here of him, and he just keeps doing awesome. So here we go.
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. God didn't put you on this earth to like people. He just put you here to live your life.
Yeah, you think your friends are going to be jealous?
Pretty much. And I'm pretty sure my girlfriend going to be jealous. Cause she ain't going to be, I say you can't, I'm going to be like, you're going to have to hit the road jacks because.
I love that little guy. He, you know, and I had another video and I was going to share it, and I went back and forth on it again. It had some foul language in it, but it looked like he was standing in a parking lot somewhere, and he was decked out with his uniform on, and there was several black people there that were teasing him and dancing in front of him, and was making fun because the weapon and his duty belt and his taser are the blue dummy. The military uses them. They're like a dummy gun. They look exactly like it, but they're just blue and they're plastic or rubber, something like that. And they were making fun of him because they were not real. And the poor kid was just standing there. He looked lost, and they were just making fun of him. And the commentator of the video was a black gentleman, and he was saying, you know, how disappointed he was. Excuse me, because. You know, here's a kid dealing with brain cancer, and yeah, okay, so he supports Donald Trump and all that, but they were making fun of him. They were mocking him and dancing around in front of him. I don't know what the point of that was, but I would love to have shown that video, but it had some pretty strong language in it. It was just, to me, I just couldn't believe it. You know, I couldn't. Oh, where'd my screen go? There we go. There, I'm back. I couldn't believe it, but I love that little guy. He. We shared a couple of videos of him last Wednesday and talked about him. So that's pretty much all I've got. Hey, there he is.
Well, I know the video you're talking about. I've seen it, and it's pathetic.
Yeah.
You know, my dad used to say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And those people need to shut up.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, kid's 13. He's not going to carry a real gun and a real taser, you know. So why make fun of him for that? You know, they were, I'm sure it was just something because he was dressed up like a police officer and he supports Trump and, you know, jealousy, I guess. Whatever. Well, I got a couple more things. One, and actually there unfortunately would be considered negative news stories, but the first one of the two goes right along in there with you scratch your head and say, huh? On March the 10th, 2025, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek, Kotek, officially declared the day as Abortion Provider Appreciation Day. A significant move to reaffirm her administration's commitment to maintaining access to abortion care within the state. This declaration was accompanied by a public statement where Governor Kotek emphasized the importance of abortion as a healthcare service and expressed strong support for both providers and patients. The event held in Salem, Oregon, included participation from various abortion providers, and I'm not going to read them. You know, sometimes when you say you can't make that stuff up, we used to say that about things and laugh. It would be funny. Yeah,
well,
not that.
Not at all.
No. Take a life and get your own day of celebration, apparently.
Dumbfounded. What else can you say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dumbfounded. I mean, Seriously.
Someone is not healthcare. Right there. Bravo.
That like takes your breath away when you read things like that.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I just, to me, it doesn't compute in my brain why someone would consider that as a good idea. You know, there was Caitlin Bennett. Have you ever watched her videos?
I have not, that I know of.
She's all her videos. She works for a company called Liberty Hangout, and they go to college campuses, and she's very, very conservative, and she gets in clashes with it's kind of like Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk just sits there. Caitlin Bennett actually goes walking around and gets in people's faces and stuff. And she was talking to somebody, and they were two older women who I couldn't see how they would be able to conceive in the first place, but they were saying that you know, how many abortions is too many abortions? And the one older lady says, there's never too many abortions. If you want it, go for it. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, you might be a Democrat or whatever, that's fine. But, you know, no more abortions are too many. You know, you're basically green lighting homicide. And to me, abortion is homicide, you know. And then there's people, oh, well, you know, what about rape or incest? And those accounts are less than 1% of all abortions. And it's just, if it was 99% or 50% or more, then we can have that conversation, but it's less than 1%, you know.
And here's the deal. Even if you were on the other side of the aisle, is that something you'd really want to brag about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, surely there are many people on the other side of the aisle that believe the woman should have a choice. I don't. I'm not saying that I think they're right, but surely there are people that think that the woman should have a choice, but that it is a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah.
That would want to say, well, let's not celebrate it.
Yeah.
I mean, why?
That's just beyond the pale. I can't even. And right here, Beth said it. One is far too many. Far too many. And Troy said the same thing. One is too many.
Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to go with, didn't know exactly what order I would take them, but let me figure out where I know where it's at. There we go. Syria is heavily in the news, and somewhat for reasons that have been going on for over a decade. They've been in civil war in Syria long before Assad was pushed out. There was kind of a brief reprieve, but they're back at it hot and heavy. And when Assad fell in December, a transitional government, which goes under the moniker HTS, which basically has ties to Islamic fundamentalism, tried to walk right on in and make it like they could take over, that they weren't terrorists. Well, it didn't take long. You know, this is just March, and it's been going for a while. Recent reports indicate that hundreds of civilians, including Christians and Alawites, which I believe is a section there in Syria, have been killed in these clashes. Christian leaders have condoned massacres targeting innocent civilians, suggesting Christians are among the victims. Of course, that brings up religious persecution issues, and that's not new in Syria. As a matter of fact, the Christian population in Syria continually went down because of those kinds of things. Even though Assad was actually not anti-Christian, he was just a murderer and a dictator. He didn't care who he murdered.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so I wanted to kind of think about this in a different perspective. I've said, many people say that we don't understand that kind of persecution, and we really don't.
Mm-mm.
But, and this is a big but here, we need to understand that it happens, and what happens in one part of the world can happen in our part of the world in a very short period of time. Are we going to go down to the point where people are beheading Christians? Oh, not this week or next week, probably. But look, we just told a story about a Christian, faith-based, family-oriented company that have been discriminated against. And so while Troy got it, I did that on purpose, Troy. That one I really did.
I don't know if anybody else noticed, but go back and rewatch it. And as soon as he said big butt, I started snickering like a schoolgirl and looked over here at Ashley, and we were both laughing.
I seen your eyes go that direction, and I thought, oh, Ashley laughed.
Yeah, we were both laughing. But we needed to laugh after these last two stories.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we don't think that some problems are just an over there problem.
Yeah. It can easily come here before you know it. Easily.
What if Harris would have won?
Oh.
What would it have looked like to have been a Christian the next 4 years in America? Could have been a very, very ugly situation. I mean, remember, she's the one that told the Christians that they were in the wrong place.
Yeah, she sure did.
So we're going to have to find something, though, on a positive to end this.
Well, on another negative, I just pulled up Pope Francis, who's been hospitalized for over a week, is in critical condition right now after a prolonged asthma-like respiratory crisis. The Pope is more unwell today than yesterday, the Vatican said in a statement. Now, I actually did hear last week that he said to go ahead and start planning for his funeral and for the end.
Well, that's interesting because over the weekend, I had seen where he had taken a turn for the better.
Really? He must have gone back down again because right now he's in critical condition. So.
I know a lot of strange that people say a lot of times before when somebody's in the end an active dying process that they make a turn for the better.
Yeah, they get better before they go. Yeah.
I did have something else that can make us laugh.
There we go. Good deal.
Here we go. You laugh at this, then we'll say goodbye.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you.
Oh, that's Nancy Pelosi for you.
Oh my. Well, we want to thank everybody for, once we woke you up,
Yes.
you guys jumped right in and
Did not disappoint.
did not disappoint at all.
I've got to say winner tonight is that one right there.
Oh my. Well, you finish the whole thing. I'll just do the hand motions. How about that?
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. And unless something major happens in the next 24 hours, we probably won't be on tomorrow. So if anything, we will see you next Tuesday night right here on Red, White, and True. And as the good man says, go out and do the right thing. Have a good night, everybody.